So it seemed to have taken on somewhat of a personal, uh, I wouldn't say vindication, but already um, sought out uh, conclusion. Um, some of the same problems still exist, and like I said, why is it mostly that we here, based on our tax system, is required to make those adjustments, especially when there's always been a division of answers, uh, not even to mention incomes. You know, people really start worrying about things that are out of their control to where, you know, let's just keep it accurate. Because to me, if you're not going to financially interrupt my finances, you know, the outside popcorn gallery remarks, comments, it is just, just sometimes amusing, sometimes playful, um, never taken personal, uh, to the extent of it's not being concluded at that time, which is supposed to be the professional uh, etiquette in dealing with customer service, dealing with clientele, dealing with other hierarchies and their demands and wants. So so now uh, certain individuals, let's say the wealthy, you can't put a number on the losses of dollars. Uh, was it documented that these individuals, based on the stock market investments, which is a third approximately of your income, what are you bringing in? Tangibles, intangibles, properties, what your properties are going to sell for, uh, gold, uh, other things you've accumulated. And, this Bitcoin comes in, uh, you know, this scenario of the US dollar being, dissipated, disappearing. Everything should be online. Well, that seems to be one of the dumbest things I've heard. I don't really know what percent of the dollar that they want to be invested in that. And for you to believe 100% as these commercials come out with, I mean, nothing's 100%. So I don't know. I don't like the fabrication of all that stuff. That stuff is irritating, waste of time, and pretty much dumbfounded. And for me, I wonder who is spending their money on these commercials. So we kind of know some of the things that these groups, parties, are responsible for. We have yet to see, let's say, vigorously a counterparty of the two right now. So it only seems to be just a Republican, Democratic race. Which I seriously think that I don't think at this time another party can be called out. Let's see, today's the 23rd. One more week. will be the end of 23, and then another week for the actual vote. 6 o'clock East Coast time would be the start. Hands down, 3 o'clock West Coast. The Midwest would be considered 5 o'clock. And then Pacific Mountain View, 4 o'clock across the board. So everything starts at that time, those times, depending on your region. Meaning, being in the location of voting, which should be made aware by your local libraries, through your local, let's say, mail room, U.S. post office, major post office, to see where the local ballots are being dispersed, which ones are going to be on the actual ballot. You'll see the names for, let's say, school superintendents, maybe some more sheriffs, local, let's say, districts, maybe some internal assistants, clerks, judges, you know what I'm saying? Those things, those individuals' names should be on the ballot as well. So to me, they are still anticipating it to go on, with this huge question mark of what's been going on. And I think that because of the lack of, let's say, responsibilities of schools, junior high, high school, a lot of individuals have gotten lost as far as the actual count. Now, these things were pretty accurate at one time. I don't see it to whereas 20%, 30% of the population died. I think the population, the actual census wasn't taken since what? Let's see, when I was in Los Angeles back in 91, I think that census you can go off of since then was seeming accurate. Now, since then, you know, the old good old percent more, 10% more, 10% more, all that. I think all that stuff was just a enactment of what transpired to be the numbers of today, which basically overpopulated the world. Well, the United States, because they want to compare it as a global loss. Ain't that many people died of no COVID. I don't think so. Really don't. You know, I don't think there was that much of a disease out there that could kill that many people because of some type of respiratory, you know, infection that mess with your immune system as a similar cold, cough, you know. closeness. So, uh, these things, I don't know why, these things are just overlooked. And so the match is already on. These individuals are going at each other on maybe topics that are, not your everyday mentioning. So, do you know your place as far as what do you need? Your needs of individuals, families are basic, still, medical, synthetics versus what? Natural healing, resources, environmentals, climate control, climate change. Well, they had said this a while ago. It's going to be a big old lump sum of the Arctic to drop off its base. So obviously that has happened. Those waters filled certain chambers of the world, I guess. I mean, I'm not a environmentalist, but I can tell when there's harmony in the environment. I can tell when individuals are in harmony with nature. And since my being back to my native San Francisco, I've seen, disturbing things, and I've seen some motivational, heartfelt things. And, people want to be quick to underestimate the survival skills of some of these animals, or water reefs, water trajectories, what is it, the atmosphere, the rain, precipitations, the smog factor, I think, is ozone layer. That stuff has been kind of not as a factor as before. It's just the natural things. I think it's harder to grow the natural resources. The food is a issue. The meats that individuals eat, supplemented by vegans, and those type of supplements, additives. So, in my opinion, there's a trust issue that needs to be still embedded on in keeping, responsibility of those at your own home front, those that claim to be community leaders, platforms, you know. A lot of them, some are doing more than others. The mainstays are still there. So that's there for a specific purpose. How much you take advantage of it is one thing. The expedience of it, though, the paperwork, the red tape, all of that, there's never been nothing of a, let's say, liking for myself. Individuals of a, let's say, coming to the United States for the first time are put in a not a bubble, but a quick solution, faster than those who have been already acclimated in the process. So there's a, underwriting review of a person's acceptance for a governmental food subsidy, a governmental housing subsidy, and in the essence of homelessness has nothing to do with housing. So the two don't really match. You know what I'm saying? You got a person that's homeless going through the process of finding some place to stay. Doesn't mean they can't pay no money for the rents. So why should they have to wait the whole process of months and months and months when they were having all of these places available but set aside for the wrong purposes? So a lot of people didn't know a lot of things about these. I didn't really pay attention to it either because, for one, I always thought of myself as being able to afford just the basics of the basics, regardless of what city I was in, regardless of what I was doing, regardless of where I was at. I know that the overall average of one state was always attainable, even if I didn't like whatever job I had to take or whatever thing I had to do. So mine was timing, being at the right place at the right time, making an effort to address some changes, bring awareness to some changes, hold some that were not accountable, that were purposely sabotaging the, let's say, advancement of human communication, human contact with each other. Let's keep them in a, let's keep keeps safe. Let's keep sake as it is, that type of thinking. And I'm trying not to be, name calling or pointing a finger because, I am always easily accessible where I'm at. And for individuals to, let's say, painstakingly, monotonously try things to, sabotage my financial, health-wise, mental issues, is a constant loss, not for me, but for them. So that part is it's a not hard pill to swallow, but a vindictive, competitive dwelling that I have to, you know what I'm saying, be in positions now, you know what I'm saying, control of those entities that did so much of the, barking, when in essence, I had nothing to do with none of them. My issues were supposed to have been resolved. I'm off on my own, yet I'm brought back in, and now I could care less really how an adult would put themselves at such, you know what I'm saying, at such a, going back to prison stance, going back to jail situation, losing their housing situation, losing their job situation, when asked simple truths. Now, I don't see one side or the other in any major issues of, let's say, credibility-wise. I think when asked for questions, all candidates seem to be very accessible, hands-on, which is always good. I think more than before. So that is a good thing to know, that your issues can always be addressed and heard. Depending on what you're looking for, maybe California may not be what it's all cut out to be. Myself saying as well, I don't see myself being accessible to California no more than I have to. Things have changed a little. The weather is different. I think it's a difference in the atmosphere, where there's less oxygen for whatever reason. So it's harder for individuals, especially my age, to incorporate health and wellness, a wellness plan as before. Plus, almost being 60 years old, sometimes at this point, I was just like, really might not even just want to do it. To a degree, maybe walking somewhere a mile or so, 2 miles a day, which doesn't seem to be the problem for any of those individuals, nor myself. So, I think the reinvestment of a person's biological anatomy, when addressed with current medicines, is pretty much put on the responsibility of the patient now, which I don't think they understand that as well either. I think the patient goes to the hospital not knowing their responsibility for their own wellness. Because, the questions that are asked and the treatment that's given, I don't feel it's all set up to maintain your current status, and in the event that you don't get better, it maintains and it solidifies your current medical history. So all of this stuff about privacy, it's geared originally from the medical field, from the Patriot Act. These things were established because, you know what? They were established because of someone knowing your medical history could manipulate your life history, could basically get you physically sick, and you know what I'm saying, that would be worse than financial loss. So to me, money is one thing. Wealth, yeah, you got that. That's two things. Money, wealth, richness, compared to your physical, mental, happiness and strength, your motivation, you know. So when compared, I think the privacy took more of a, I would say, almost 80, 90%, 90% turn toward just finance, your financial. So all the attention goes to that. The medical is not as important. The Obama care is a simple A, B, C, D plan. You still have to pay for it. It's not free. There's a premium on it. If you don't want some of the additives, you don't have to take it. You know what I'm saying? It was a mandate. If you were not working, you had up to I think 2 months, a month, 3 months to have it. If you didn't, you were gonna get fined. A lot of people may have gotten that fine. Transportation industry, with import, export, all that seemed to be stagnant. So it's a new, I don't know, economy. What you're looking for, who you're looking for. But in my opinion, with Trump not being involved, I mean, technically he could still put his name as a candidate, but if not picked, you know, I think it doesn't vibe with the statutes that are being addressed, something in that nature. But everything has to be concluded and, let's say, addressed by next week in regards to who is actually going to be on the ballot. And at that point, everything should be back to somewhat of normalcy. The media, I mean, the platform is not there. They don't have places, a location. These individuals are not going out trying to border different cities for support as they used to, and fitting only because of, you know, maybe the process is changing and there's a new way of trying to, you know what I'm saying, solve the problems that we're eating at the financial wherewithal. So at this point, you know, banks, they're closing, some of them are losing their FDIC insurance. You want to be, there is still some online banking you can go on. Some of these places are still FDIC insured. You know, in light of individuals doing their best to put closure to this year. I just pretty much, watch it from a perspective of knowing, right from wrong, knowing my opportunities, knowing that, if any event something didn't go the way I planned, I'm still not, indebted with being overwhelmed after that bounce back. So, taking losses has not been in the script for me, which I was not responsible for, and nor did I look to financially always be, involved in. Because basically you really can't be that, out to be, spoiler of certain companies and things like that. So overall, most individuals lost their financial prowess because of their involvement of trying to be overly committed to the wrong cause. On the wrong platform. Individuals lost, their ambition to go forward because, they are, let's say, addressed with a voice of reasonableness, at times combativeness, but nothing done in a a ploy of truth overall. So yeah, those times are pretty much character building. What are you responsible for being a telltale or a solver or a, continuing the current situation, ills or bonuses. So the what was it? Stimulus. It's like the bonus. So that ran through all the way this year. Last another bonus. So where does that leave everybody? You're still making your own decisions. You're not a slave no more. You're not under that pressure of losing your name, your identity. So people have the freedoms to still go around and deal with what they want to deal with, say what they want to say, be responsible for what they say. People still have these freedoms. So it's up to you to decide on who you think is gonna woo and wow you, I guess. Who's gonna do what you want? So my stance is to get in and get out. Get what I need, address, get out. But I'm not gonna be sitting around uh, waiting on the next, let's say, person to come in and, start something all over. Mine has already been expressed. You know what I'm saying? Respect is one. Because if you have a disrespect for somebody because of some attempts, that's cool, whatever. But you don't really get the gist of, let's say, some committed, what is it, the checks and balance executive type of truth that for many people don't have the capability of being. I mean, individuals can walk down the street and see that you're not lying to yourself, or you're not lying to me. You're lying to not even yourself. Your lie is to God, basically. Because if you can't acknowledge the fact that you have a problem with a certain female, male, of any hierarchy, race, color, you can't identify that, then saying, you know what, sometimes I am an asshole. Sometimes I do give certain people a fucked up ass opinion, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I can acknowledge that and either help or stay an asshole, because soon all of that stuff is acknowledged. And I guess if you shout enough and scream enough, you're gonna get heard, but it's not gonna help, because at that point people are too involved to know what's important. You can't see that because you can't identify the problem. Individuals can't identify nothing to understand they have a problem. So, it doesn't matter. Individuals could read a statement, and it's your answer based on your performance or based on your etiquette is wrong. And it's always been wrong. So, I'm not doing this for nobody's favor. I'm just doing this in regards to my plight with my social media, you know what I'm saying, hobby, because that's what it is, a hobby. A hobby that has stretched to where, when asked, garnered, let's say, much, acclaim and knowing who's who in the world. So, looking to do anything else different at this time, just to finish 23 and setting up my 24, which at this point, falls on still a legal battle, let's say, process, and knowing that I'm right and they not, it's a bitter pill to have to swallow. Now I have to go through this process that has been, let's say, pretty much inundated with let's say, pretty much manipulated cases, allegations. So, everything to me is for a reason, and it's gonna come back. And when addressed, we'll see how groups feel, or if they thought what they thought was going to happen because of those watching the cookie jar would be asleep, be naive. I don't think so. I think it's been a real accounted for watching, and for those who look to maintain those positions, then by no means, because in the individuals I work with and deal with on a volunteer basis, everybody is identifiable in their own makeup. Nothing is left to, let's say, think about, worry about. A full commitment of being honest with oneself puts you back into a grown-up position, being an adult, making those adult decisions. So, you know what I'm saying? Anything else, based on me, in my opinion, it would be too personal, and I don't want to get into any personal issues. Let's just say everybody seems to be at 110% in attention to detail and readiness. So, we're just gonna weigh it out and watch it go through, and wonder if that was the right thing. Hopefully, it turns out to be what it's supposed to be. So, some of those ill responsibilities, like the census, being able to take the Nielsen ratings and all that of certain type of question and answers for families, just pretty much got out of character, and we had no real number of population nor population control. Yeah, those people just made these numbers up. So now the cities and the counties are definitely at a difference in that count. So we'll see how it goes. One way or the other, put it like this, with the delegates that are a part of the college electoral vote will be enough to constitute a new president or maintain the same. So the overall vote is one of popularity and, opportunity for you all to address you all's concerns, which everybody has their hand in something that is supposed to have been motivating, fair, and financially healthy for people. So there's too many minor setbacks and problems that will, clog up the machine. So in that aspect, that's 45 minutes of me going over just the validated, confirmed not even numbers, but location of the vote for 2024, and I believe these things are going to be done. The vote's going to finish because, as usual, it's overwhelmingly based on those voters, delegates, 50 in the United States, 50 abroad. Then you'll probably add 3 more, so about 103 delegates to make that call, and their families. So your popular vote is your American ticket. So keep in mind, if you're looking for a citizenship, that's a very important cognate of your participation. So for those that are coming here, I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote only because of the fact that through my parents and my grandparents, the plight that they had to go through to deal with their situations. You know what I'm saying? I've voted ever since I was able to. I think I missed maybe one. And not to say that I'm some type of political guru or a political analysis. Mine is a realistic, socio-economical, behavioral attitude on individuals and their enactment with others in that society, in that area. And the blame game is a big old obstacle of attraction, but that's what media is there for. So bringing some type of awareness.